Heard they arrested one of the Phantom Thieves. No way. I didn't expect him to commit suicide. He's a murderer. He deserves to die. We can finally breathe easy now. He killed himself, huh? Guess we'll never know his motivation. So it is. So I did some thinking after the last episode, and there are some pieces of evidence that I either one, don't have, or two, just haven't been, I guess, like revealed to me yet. Basically, because Akechi is undoubtedly the traitor. That has been established. What I don't know is that whoever is the Black Mask is somehow Akechi as well, but maybe not manifested as his in his metaverse form with his red mask, or there is another accomplice besides Akechi, and maybe that Black Mask is kind of like another secret operator of Shido's, maybe. So Akechi himself could be getting played as well. So it's not like I completely have like a 180 type of opinion on Akechi now. It's just that I think that the type of hierarchy of, because like the principal's dead now, the ISU director is also dead. So what I assume is it's basically the Black Mask that is killing off people, and Akechi is not the one that killed the SIU director, when you come to think about it, right? Akechi was informed that the SIU director was going to die, but he's not the one that actually did the deed, which means that there most likely was someone else that that killed the SIU director who is working for Shido. Akechi might be aware of his presence, but he also might not know who the Black Mask is. So that's what that's what I've got so far, after naturally witnessing the events that happened in the last episode. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we still got ways to go with what we're going to be shown here, because we got to get out of this predicament. Feels like my consciousness is about to fade away.
Hey, are you alright? Don't fall asleep until we reach our destination. Are you listening?
Could this be the effect of the drug wearing off? It's still wearing off? The memories I thought were gone are starting to come back.
Are you listening?
I see Burger Kun. What were we talking about?
You weren't paying attention? Well, I guess I can see how you'd be lost in thought right now. Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation.
Futaga's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior motive.
It's on a completely different level than just that.
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns.
Okay, but there's another. At least I'm assuming so.
His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him.
Him?
If we go into Sis's palace as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
Wow, so we already had this known, like, before he joined the no. When was this meeting? I think it was right after the cultural festival. But I don't think we invited him at this time. I think this is when we were deciding when to accept his proposal or not. I think that's what we were doing here.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down my spine.
Well, I still do believe Akechi, like when we hung out with them, this is his justice, basically. Like you said before, he hates adults. So, yeah, I think that this is kind of like just a stepping stone for him, for his greater scheme.
Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
A fucking tank.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto us.
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him.
Did he? I guess that's kind of compelling. But how did the SIU director die, though? He couldn't have done the deed because he was on the phone with Shido. I don't understand. Can the mental shutdown itself be triggered independently? Oh, I guess it can be, now that I think about it. After Okumura was killed, he didn't die until the press conference. Yeah, okay, I guess that debunks my theory right there. Shit, alright. But how is he the Black Mask, though? I guess I'll find out later.
And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time!
I guess I'm led to believe that.
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac.
Not really. Quite calculated.
Come on, we gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No. Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all. An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
Unless we find out who that is, we will continue being targeted even if we defeat Akechi.
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it. Though once we do, that mastermind will likely eliminate us.
So we gotta change his heart?
I think that will be the case eventually, regardless of whether or not we learn his identity. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame for his crimes. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may opt to kill us immediately.
He could just also kill all of us, like in the real world, without having to go through unorthodox methods like the metaverse.
Damn it! So we don't got a choice but to go with that bastard's suggestion.
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested and then Akechi will kill him.
Palace. The palace.
Actually, there's something I'd like to say regarding...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this all of a sudden?
There's a way. A way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity. Really?
Really?
You gotta be kidding me!
Okay, I think they're gonna explain the, how we turned the interrogation room into a metaverse, cognitive space.
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him?
Okay, good. Because I've been waiting for this context.
That is, inside of a palace.
Yes, we could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
The thing is that it's kind of a bit of an oversight that Akechi would fall for such a trick because if he is the Black Mask, let's assume he is, he has more knowledge about the metaverse than we do because he's been operating in it well before we did in Kamoshida's palace. So if anything, it's kind of like, I guess it's a bit of a plot convenience that he doesn't really understand. Oh, like, what the hell? I'm in the metaverse now once he sees the phone that Sai shows to him. But it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option.
And let me guess, the way that we get into the interrogation room prior is because, I guess, Makoto uses Sai's contacts to get in there? Because isn't that like a restricted government facility?
Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Okay.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell them to come on down.
Oh, nice. Even Sojido's in on it. Nice. It's like the whole group.
I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
Back from the dead.
Hey, you big bastard.
How've you been?
Not dead. Ghostly.
You're not floating.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
He might suspect something though. I mean, if he returns to the interrogation room, he won't find our body, right? So, like, this is a very temporary type of escape that we have here because, yeah, like, Akechi and Shido will eventually find out, oh, you know, like, what the hell, where's the body, right? So, yeah, and then they'll clue in, oh, you know, we were set up.
Still, how'd you pull this off? Isn't this guy considered dead?
You weren't told anything? I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the first one that, well, I guess excluding all the other side character confidant, I think Yoshido was the first one that I maxed. Yeah, he's the first, like, outsider that found my identity.
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec. Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
Sojiro's like, what is this, D&D?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit? I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
No? Where's the option? No? Because, honestly, up until, 2 episodes ago, I actually had no idea who it was. I don't think about this stuff, really. I don't like losing sleep thinking about fucking scenarios that I don't have all the information to. But yeah, I guess you did fuck up. Overconfident, I would say, is kind of what led him to this point, maybe?
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made one fatal mistake.
Yeah. Which is?
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
Well, she wouldn't have believed us.
That wasn't something we could simply bring up.
Plus, I think the only reason she would have believed us is if we went through the entire story of events too that led her to believe it due to the evidence she had and the circumstances. Like a talking cat.
We couldn't have you suspect Akechi.
Plus, they're kind of colleagues.
Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff.
Sojiro is actually me. Oh my god. I am in this picture.
So what was this mistake Akechi made? What did he do?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
Oh, that's the hint. Okay. So when we were talking at the TV station, it was because Morgana was talking to us about Dome Town, and then Akechi was like, what the fuck's this about pancakes at Dome Town? And then I guess it was like, since Morgana brought up the topic, and then after Akechi commented on it, it wouldn't make sense because An and Ryuji weren't the ones that brought up the suggestion, it was Morgana. Holy crap, yeah. I wouldn't have caught on to that detail. I'm not that detail orientated. But that is interesting, yeah. Wow, that was so long ago though. That was right after the Kamoshida incident in like May, I think. So wow. Good one, game. You got one over me.
You mean a cat?
It talks?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
What the fuck?
Sorry, was that supposed to be a joke?
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true.
Believe it, if Haru says so.
You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as well?
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality.
I wonder if this is like some symbolism to like Japan mythology in which talking cats are widely, I don't know, an accepted type of yokai concept. Just like how Morgana turns into a bus in the metaverse, I'm pretty sure that's also some sort of Japanese like urban legend or whatever. Is it Totoro? Is that a reference to that? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's been a while since I watched that film.
It's a change in cognition, most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
Lame well shit. Now I feel stupid.
When we talked to Akechi at the school festival, he was acting like he just realized Mona could talk.
Okay, I'm glad they're giving me this flashback. Yeah, look, like this was so long ago. We're even wearing our summer uniforms. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was like in May.
But we already saw him drop a mega hint about it way earlier.
Right.
Oh, I know a place. I want to go to that huge pancake-looking place we passed on the way here.
Okay.
Oh, am I mistaken? I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
I see. So it's the opposite way around. But Ryuji and On were talking about Dome Town, and then Morgana's the one that brought up pancakes, and then Akechi commented on the... How am I supposed to follow this? Oh my goodness. This is this almost as good as Danganronpa hints? No, actually no. Danganronpa fucking hints are way more obscure, and yeah, sometimes like you'll never catch them until one of the NPCs like Kyoko brings it up. Like the Mondo dialogue where it's like dude and chick. But yeah, man, I love finding out this stuff though. It's really cool because some people are really smart. Like they get this shit right off the bat. They're like, oh, you know, like I knew it all along. But it's like, oh, you know, I didn't catch up on this ever. So cool stuff.
Mona was the only one who was talking about a pancake.
So, watch, Sojido's gonna be like, what the fuck? What pancake?
That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
That is correct.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
The thing is that if we knew by then, which is a long time ago, that Akechi was most likely the culprit to the mental shutdowns, I feel like after we knew that Okumura died, I mean, I guess this is for the plot too, after Okumura died and we knew that it was, like, we basically knew Akechi was the one that killed him, I don't know why we act so surprised as to how our methods failed. Again, I think that's for plot convenience, because obviously talking about the concept of the Black Mass too much would have probably shed a bit too much evidence leading towards Akechi, if you're, you know, dense like me who doesn't pick up on these hints. But yeah, I guess that's just a plot convenience again.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one after all.
We should have killed Akechi in Okumura's palace. His story was too good, we got lucky. Hey, I'm not the one who picked up on it, so I guess his story was too good. I mean, Yeah, we did get lucky though. If it wasn't for that comment, I guess we wouldn't have much to build on.
That said, we weren't so naive to overlook something like that.
That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone.
Shit, well I was.
I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app.
Oh damn, were you like, what? You installing fucking Subway Surfers on his phone? I think that game is actually still popping off, by the way. I'm like, oh my god, you know? I saw it on the Play Store. And I was like, holy crap. It's like a flashback back to like 2013 with like Temple Run and Doodle Jump and Angry Birds. Good old days.
My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, we were all there talking to him too, so at that time he also had to kind of ingratiate himself too as a new member, so he wouldn't really be too, I guess, too cold to us in order to appear, you know, like engaged, interested, because he was acting, right? As the metaverse is like a new experience for him. So naturally, this is something that, you know, he can't exactly be like, oh shit, like what are you doing with my phone, right? Yeah. Really interesting. I didn't catch up on that either. I just thought that was like Futaba being interested in Akechi maybe having like a unique government phone or whatever, because it's like a new model or whatever.
Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act! After a few days of listening, this confirmed his betrayal.
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves in the act.
If you planted a bug though in his phone, couldn't you just extract like the entire data from his phone just like you did with Sai's computer? That would have been way more incriminating then.
That would be the only way to arrest them, given their methods. I'll deal with them after that. Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and committed suicide during his imprisonment. How about that? Public security questioning will occur on the first day. And with that room, my task will be simple.
Is this for real?
Yes, the guard will be one of ours. We'll have to eliminate him after to destroy the evidence, though.
So they planned to get rid of that guard from the beginning.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the arrest. And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible for the mass mental shutdowns shall end his own life.
Honestly, this was really well planned out. Thing is though, I don't know if this was Akechi's plan or Shido's plan. Because he's the one at the top giving the orders. He's the one that killed the principal. He's the one that killed the SIU director. And I wouldn't be surprised if he kills Akechi later. Oh boy, that will be interesting. And also, like, I haven't forgotten about Kasumi and her whole, like, side palace thing. Like, I'm trying not to think about that because I have no fucking idea how that's going to relate to the main story.
When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan from evil. As will I, of course.
Japan, yes. The world is Japan.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
I don't think so. I still believe in Akechi. Like, he still has his motives. The reason why I also highly believe this is because I think I only was able to get him to rank 7 in my confidants. So I guess that's a bit of a spoilers, but we're not done with him. Like, there's more to his story still. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the fuck happens with him.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental shutdown crimes.
It's true though. He is undoubtedly a killer, and that is going to be interesting how they, I guess, maybe try to, like, reform him.
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi. Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station.
Yeah, I'm also very interested to how they develop Shido, because right now he's kind of just this big bad. Kind of like Jingu from Yakuza Kiwami, or Munakata from Yakuza 4, where it's just like the big bad at the very end of the game. I really hope that they don't pull this shit where it's like, oh, you know, Shido's just like generic bad guy with the strings.
That's why we had to make a move before they did.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him dispose of our leader's fake, but think he killed him.
One thing I don't really understand too is is it because Akechi, is it because he believed so hard that we would be in the interrogation room that a shadow version of ourselves was in his like cognitive space, basically? Like, that's one thing that I just can't really wrap my mind around, that it wasn't a palace, obviously, because it looked the same as an interrogation room as it did in the real world, and the placement of everything was also the same, such as the fake guard being there and the fake me being there as well. So it's either that Akechi really convinced himself that that was a fake space, so when he killed the real me, when he killed the fake me, he believed it, and when he left, he also like didn't realize he was in the metaverse. Yeah, like I'm just not really understanding the rules of how this fake space was created. I don't know, maybe they're gonna explain this though, and I'm just wasting time here. Oh god.
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What conditions?
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
Okay. Was at the courthouse, right?
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing.
Yeah, but that was a spontaneous activation from like a street from school. So it's interesting how we were also able to activate it from such far lengths from the destination, whereas in Madarame's palace, we literally just activated it right next to his house. Yeah, so I guess the activation requirements of proximity are quite liberate. It's not really the same every time. Not till we got to yeah, we had no idea though.
You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
I guess unless, well, the only time we ever realize is when the phone says, what is it, like, candidates found, right? And then it's, we see the boosh sound, right? Where like the bass boosted. And then it's like, entering into so-and-so's palace, right? But since this wasn't Akechi's phone, maybe he wasn't informed.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to us.
But the only reason why Akechi didn't know was because my phone was on silent. So when he was put into the metaverse, my phone was on silent, so it didn't let him know it was the metaverse. Yeah. Also, I'm like, how did Sai not get dragged into the metaverse too when she showed the phone to Akechi? Because, as we know, people can get dragged into the metaverse via proximity, right? We saw it with An. Yusuke went into the metaverse with An when they were escaping from the cops from Madarame. And we were able to drag Makoto in with us as well. So if Sai was literally holding our phone, which was the catalyst to entering the metaverse in that little interrogation room, how was she not dragged in with Akechi? Actually, no, I think I just debunked my theory right here, because even if she did, she was walking in the opposite direction, so she would have left the cognitive space, regardless of whether or not she was aware that she was in that space. There we go. Okay, I'm done talking about this.
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but I went along with it.
What are we talking about again?
Yeah. It's good we have her heading up our operations.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets oddly impulsive.
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi,
No, that's my job.
but I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis. The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves was to heal your heart, after all.
That's sweet.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me. I was desperate. I wasn't myself at all. I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take it you used the data from my laptop?
I'm sorry.
Go on.
There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse.
Okay, nice. They're going to explain it. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Oh my gosh.
First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room.
Okay.
Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace proper were the same as in the real world.
Right. Oh, I see. So this was just a cognitive space that was outside of Sai's casino. So it's still part of Sai's palace because we didn't steal her treasure, so her palace didn't disappear. Oh my goodness, I never even thought about that. Okay.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
Right. I mean, obviously they wouldn't show that to me when we were exploring the palace, but and the details are the same in the fake interrogation room because Sai's distortion didn't reach that far as the party hinted out basically when we were there. It was like, oh, why is it just the courthouse? Because nothing else changed. Even the attendees for the court hearings were all normal people. Like they weren't distorted beings or whatever.
There was also one more thing we absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him in the metaverse's interrogation room.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Correct.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.
Everything went as planned up until we defeated Sis's shadow.
So what Makoto means by the prior statement as when the casino guards appeared as normal human beings is that basically confirmed that when I was captured by the police in the real world that I would appear also normal and not in my metaverse outfit in the interrogation room as the fake me. Okay, I buy that.
However, it was then that we were met with a terrifying, unexpected police ambush. As a result, even though we managed to grab the treasure, we couldn't get it out of the metaverse. Except that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand, and merely acted like we were taking the treasure.
Okay. So the briefcase that I was holding was fake then? But what would the treasure actually matter in this case? Because I know for sure that we naturally didn't steal the treasure because Sai's palace disappear? Maybe it did disappear now if they're gonna give this twist to me.
This was because we knew the police would be coming for us.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to ambush us. And just as expected, he totally took the bait.
Him getting captured by the police went exactly how we planned it.
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive world's interrogation room?
Now we're getting to it.
All I needed were the coordinates.
seems like she used this laptop to remotely access the metaverse. Oh? Asking her about it now would drag the conversation on too long. I should talk to her later.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace and left thinking he had been victorious.
Right, I guess it's a bit too hard to tell her that, oh, you know, well, it's the navigation app on the phone, and because of the phone, I'm able to send people into the metaverse. Like, I feel like that in of itself is kind of dangerous.
It must have been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation room. Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
Oh my god, look at that picture. Also, no, if I gave the wrong information to Sai, like I assume if I basically sold out my friends and confidants, I'd be dead actually in the real world, because that would strike the deal with Sai, and I wouldn't have been able to tell her about the phone. So yeah, I think that would be the bad ending, right? Where I just die. That's pretty morbid.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
I couldn't see, yeah, true. There was no time. I'm just glad I didn't die, yeah.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started coming to me on his phone. Huh. So in other words, I've been to the metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
Yep, and that is true. When she showed the phone she got dragged into.
In our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a time.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Wait. Nobody has ever entered their own palace before, now that I think about it. Yeah, this is the first time Sai entered Sai's palace for like, I don't know, 5 seconds when she showed it to Akechi and then ran off. But yeah, now that I think about it. Oh, actually no, Futaba. Futaba's an exception, right?
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his escape. By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as well.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? Because Akechi was heading to the fake interrogation room, and then you left because you got a call from Alibaba, which was Futaba. And then, after, I assume during that time, Akechi did the deed in the fake world, came out of the fake interrogation room, left the area, and then Sai went back into the real interrogation room, I guess, because she was out of the metaverse at that time. How would going back to the interrogation room return her? I'm not going to think about it. I feel like I'm just making too many confusions and contradictions in my mind.
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Oh my goodness, so that's what they did. Holy crap, that's actually insane. If you piece the imagery in your mind, basically, Sai and Akechi would have met several times, but they didn't, because Akechi was in the fake, like, interrogation room hallway, while Sai was in the real interrogation room hallway to the interrogation room. So it's like they actually did pass by each other, but not in the same world. Holy crap, that is genius. Oh my goodness, that is insane.
Huh. Astounding.
I know, Sai's like, well, she believes it now, but imagine if this would be possible in the real world. It's like, if you've ever played an MMO, it's like how there's different channels in certain instances where it's like there's only 50 players in like channel 1, and then there's like maybe 30 players in channel 2, and while you all might be standing in the same place, you can only see the players from your channel. Oh, that's great. This is such great use of game mechanics basically, and to fit the lore.
I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand operation was taking place within me.
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you during the interrogation.
Yeah, for real, I knew it this entire time.
Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were pretty worried about that part.
Yeah, me too.
True.
Persona games always make me think I make the wrong decisions.
Why is that?
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent breakout would have never been possible. That persuasion was easily our greatest gamble. We couldn't consult Sis beforehand. It was absolutely the make or break moment of the entire plan.
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it?
No, I don't remember. Drugs. That's a good response.
Understandable. Either way, I can't believe you went for such a risky idea.
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, I knew you'd realize the bigger picture.
The only question I have now, I had so many questions when I started this episode, but now I only have one. Did we successfully steal Sai's heart then? She's now self-aware of her shadow self and of her distorted desires. But did we successfully steal her heart then? Because we... like, they haven't told me yet if her palace is gone, but we did trick Akechi into thinking that we didn't steal the treasure successfully. So did we, or did we not?
Realize that our leader was telling the truth, and that there was a greater evil to pursue.
As a result, we emerged victorious.
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch the true culprit, correct?
Yes. Plus, you had lost control of yourself at the time.
This is stunning. All I can really do is laugh.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fake.
Ojiro is so me, he's like 30 steps behind.
But what did you do about the body?
Exactly. That's a real question that I was thinking too. This does not, like, all this was just so that we could get out of this predicament and that we could basically get the public off our back, thinking that we're dead. But this is such a temporary solution because once government officials, or heck, even fucking like just some random janitor goes to that room to like clean up, he's not gonna see anything. There's no Phantom Thieves body, there's nothing, right? And so the public will then know, oh, you know, well, the Phantom Thieves aren't dead. So like, what? How long is this gonna last for us? Like a couple days, a week at most?
The police never even checked it.
Well, shit, well... okay, I guess that too then.
Huh?
Yeah, what the fuck? What are my tax dollars going towards?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide.
Okay, so it was a completely inside job. They are extremely overconfident then to just assume that I'm dead then.
That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
Wow, I see.
The bad guys have that much influence?
Murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also knew of a possible conspirator.
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came to understand.
Also, I wonder if Sai's aware that her boss is now dead. Like, just kind of coming to terms with that. Like, at this point in time, is Sai like realized that, you know, the SIU director is dead?
And since the higher-ups at the police knew nothing of this, they were thrown into disarray. As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news, just as Akechi planned.
It's also what the public wanted to hear too, so I mean, this is kind of the type of shit that people would eat up without questioning it. You know, it's like celebrity drama or some sort of like streamer or YouTube scandal or whatever, right? Like people love to see people rise to fame and people fall from grace. So in this case, since everyone was rooting for the Phantom Thieves to be, you know, brought to justice, most people just accepted the fact as fact.
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san's help.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Holy crap. But only I'm safe though, because Akechi was talking with Shido that he was going to plan for unfortunate accidents to happen to the rest of us, right? So, I mean, technically, I guess I'm the only one that's safe. Everybody else in this room is still a target.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him. The callous use of violence, and even drugs is utterly abnormal.
Yeah, that's right, we hate the corrupt police.
If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died.
True.
I'm truly glad you made it back safe.
No bad ending for me. I'll see it though in the NG+. See what it looks like. It was a breeze. I don't remember much. Speak the truth.
Don't. You shouldn't have to remember such things.
Yeah, I'd like to forget a lot of that stuff too if it ever happened to me in real life.
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated to avoid drawing any suspicion. Even with that, I couldn't help but worry for him in my heart.
Don't worry, Haru. I haven't forgot. I'll get rid of that fucking shitty fiance you have.
Well, I knew right away that her plan worked out.
Of course you did.
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and carefree side.
Can it, cat?
I had to be patient and avoid this place until things settled down. I finally feel relieved.
Wouldn't it be incredibly ironic right now if Akechi just walked into LeBlanc right now and be like, ah, what is going on, everybody? That would be so fucking funny.
We knew he was alive, but it was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about it, my interrogation was just a formality for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die. They just wanted to avoid backlash.
I guess Sai doesn't realize it herself, but they were gonna kill her too, basically. Because they were just kind of using her as a... I guess a pawn, but in the case it was just more of like to get rid of someone who would stubbornly not give up on something. So they had to kind of give her enough leeway to have her own investigation, and then they would shut her up basically by using us to kill her.
Very well. From here forward, I will do my utmost to assist you. You saved me, after all.
That's reassuring to hear.
Cool.
I'll do whatever I can to help too. Just let me know. Let's take a break for now, though. This old brain is pooped.
I know.
Oh, and feel free to use the first floor when you guys want to get together and talk. You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word, and I'll close shop early.
I have no idea if this place is even safe anymore. Akechi visits here every now and then, so I mean... What if he's here to, like, eliminate some of us?
Are you sure?
This guy can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs. It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town. It won't be a huge loss for me.
So Shido's like some sort of secret millionaire or something. He doesn't have to run the shop, but he can still pay for the overhead and fixed cost.
Let us accept his offer. What a great man.
I know. Truly a philosophy to live by. MC.
That sounds familiar.
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
Mild pancreatic attack. Or maybe he suffered a mental shutdown. Again, I have no idea if he was the one who did it still. I'm still convinced there's like another Black Mask. I don't know, I just can't piece together that plot point. Everything else has now been revealed to me though.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero, And I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
There's no way Akechi is truly doing this for such a shallow reason, though. I don't think it is.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
Menacing laugh.
And on to our next story, the snap election for the House of Representatives.
I feel like this plot is unironically kind of leading into being like a dragon. It's like Ichiban running for politics against Masato. I mean, I guess that's kind of spoilers for Like a Dragon, but are we gonna see Bleach Japan in this game too?
Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Whoa, wait, really? That soon? Okay.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Yeah, I'm not into politics either. I don't vote. Unless my family forces me to, but yeah, I don't care about that. I'm not gonna take time out of my day to vote. Because I see it like this. My vote is a 1-for-1. You know, if I vote for person A and someone votes person B, okay, well, it's getting canceled out. So I don't really care about that. And I get that's quite a dispassionate way about like going about it, but I don't know. I don't really care too much about it, really. Whatever happens, happens. People are gonna vote for the majority, and the majority's gonna win.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Let's do it.
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? Feels like I've heard that somewhere.
Wow, so they're just gonna... We already know that info, okay.
He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
I think Masayoshi in Japanese means justice, too. So that's kind of poetic, I think. I think the only reason I know that is because Masayoshi Tanimura from Yakuza 4 is the cop, and I think that's what Masayoshi means in Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Justice Shido, and Akechi is the Justice Arcana.
Who?
Yeah, me too. Like, who? He's barely gotten any screen time.
I believe he's a politician. Remember, Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
For real.
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Huh?
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns.
Right, which he has been doing since I've been paying attention to the TV. Basically, he uses the mental shutdowns to to prove, well, not really prove, but to discredit the current government system, in basically saying that, oh, you know, the current, whatever the party was, the current party is incompetent because they're not able to stop the Phantom Thieves, right? Like, they don't know, like, how they're causing this, and they're letting these criminals run amok, basically, when all of this is actually an inside job by Shido and his party, because Akechi, and I assume Akechi plus Black Mask Guy, are doing the killings, and by that gaining popularity, because by discrediting the current government system, they gain more traction because they're the ones controlling the narrative.
He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity.
Right. Thing is, though, how long will this quid pro quo for him keep going before he eventually realizes that, you know, because Akechi is basically the one doing all the legwork, and Shido's just the spirit, like the representative, right? So it makes me wonder, can Shido do anything without, you know, people doing his work? Because he no longer has the principal, he no longer has the SIU director. Does he have anybody else? Maybe that Black Mask is his, like, special operative.
On top of that, he'll most likely become the next prime minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses.
We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes. Mom.
Shido, huh?
Yep, and this is the part where I get Sojiro lore. Because let me guess. Sojiro and Shido were old co-workers, most likely. And that's why he had Wakaba killed. And Sojiro got out of it before he most likely was too deep.
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this. Just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved. But there wasn't anything I could do, so I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had.
Yep, and that's the highest of the highest target.
He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdowns. So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated parties. Boss was one of those parties.
Which is why she was here, pressing him for answers.
I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What about the world?
The world, though. I mean, it's just Japan. But I guess Japan is the world, right?
The issue is simpler than that. This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
Yeah, I'm with Yusuke on that, really. In the end, it's just the same type of narrative, really.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
But it's not so easy with Akechi hunting us in the real world, too. I feel like we haven't really realized that yet. But only I know that as the player. It's not like something that we know.
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister.
What if there's multiple people with the same first and last name? That'll be funny.
Got a hit! Well, duh. It ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
I'd be thinking like some sort of board meeting, maybe?
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
He's a politician, so he meets with a lot of different, like, connections, you know? Industries, CEOs, banks, you know, but he learns about different, like, legal systems, international policies, that type of stuff.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
The Diet Building. Yeah, the Diet Building, like, obviously. The only reason I know that is because that's the government. I think the Diet... Didn't Ushimaru tell me that, like, it's legislative, judiciary, and was it provincial? I don't remember. But yeah, the Wilton Hotel, that's what it is. But yeah, it's the Diet Building, no doubt. Yep.
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Was that just like in the US? They have the White House. And it's like, oh, you know, get down, Mr. President. But it's like, that's kind of what people associate with the President of the United States, right? It's the White House.
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
What about Akechi?
No need to waste time with him. We just gotta hit the head.
I wonder.
Nobody against it?
Of course!
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Time for revenge.
Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that diet building place is.
Let me guess, the deadline for this is going to be until he gets elected, I guess, on the 18th? So I have a good month, basically.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
Sochido's like, yeah, I'm still running a fucking BlackBerry from the fucking 2001s. How do you guys type with all that shit anyways?
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
Okay.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the diet building after school.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
I mean, they haven't revealed my face in the news, so it's not like I can't, right? It's just like they just know that the leader of the Phantom Thieves is dead. It's not that I'm actually dead. Like, my fucking identity hasn't been revealed. It's just my title.
Miss Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess I am dead.
That's what I told the school.
God damn it.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
Well, it's a good thing I finished all the library books.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time.
Okay.
He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations.
I don't really agree with the last statement because Akechi isn't coerced into doing this. He's obviously assisting him for his own, like, reasons as well. We just don't know what they are yet. But I'm pretty sure he has his own motives. I mean, we still got time to hang out with them eventually, I assume.
A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal.
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement.
Oh, really? And what will that statement be? You've been gnomed! Or something. God, that fucking video.
He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
I know, right? Teenagers are so smart these days.
We're intellectuals, you know.
Shut the fuck up, Ryuji.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
I like to think that most teenagers aren't this frightening, but yeah. Video game. Not real, guys.
But the true battle has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
Okay.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Oh?
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy.
They've been collaborating for a while then.
Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power.
Makes sense. Shido has also felt, incriminated in some way by his own, like, hierarchy of power. In the end, it's always, oh, you know, I was also abused too.
I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic, and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
And he most likely does. I just wonder what it is.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology.
Bullshit. That's the fake smile I see right there.
I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
But I guess ironically this could also be true, because Akechi is one for achieving true justice. Still, I doubt it though.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
God, did he kill Futaba's mom? That's kind of disturbing then. Because he did just kill Futaba's mom then. He also killed Haru's dad. Dang. This is gonna be like really awkward. That's true.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root. After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side until recently.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion.
Yeah, that's why they that's also why they replaced bank managers, like high managers, like regional managers, branch managers, periodically, because they don't want, at least here in North America, they don't want people in these positions of power managing like lots of like influential cash or cash flows for a very long time, because the truth is power corrupts, and organizations realize this.
He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
I see, so Akechi is the one who's been killing people. Still though, I'm just interested. Is the Black Mask some other persona of his? Oh, that'll be cool. He has two personas then? Is he a wild card too? No, he's a Justice Arcana though. Huh. Very interesting.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests.
That kind of works everywhere on a global scale, in every industry. The future is now, old men.
The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals.
True, which is most likely why they've been only eliminating certain key targets. The interesting part is that Shido just said something interesting, in which he believes he kind of has like a Darwinism type of ideology, in which he thinks that only the strongest are fit to basically be in his world, because he believes others to be beneath him as incompetent fools. So he either is like incredibly delusional, or he's convinced himself that he actually has the capabilities to, I guess, run Japan and turn it around, because it's interesting that he uses the word ruin too, which is what Igor uses. So he himself might be convinced that, like, he sees how corrupt society is, but he has a more of whatever it takes type of manner in fixing it, rather than us, where it's like, oh, you know, no killing.
Which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you.
There we go. That's how he distances it.
And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own.
Yep. Sponsors, collaborators. I mean, heck, he's basically dethroned the original like, is it cabinet? Maybe not cabinet, but like the ruling political party. So people are definitely going to vote for him now.
The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins.
I see.
I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
I mean, I get that his intentions are kind of like for the greater good. In this case, he truly believes that Japan is in like a really negative state, I guess, where maybe its economy isn't doing so well, and like its competitive nature on a global scale, like let's say, I don't know, its export-import type of ratio, or maybe its fucking ability to have foreign domestic like investment in other countries is, you know, like extremely piss poor, right? Maybe they have like really shitty immigration rates. So I guess Japan doesn't really have that much immigration from foreign countries, right? So Shido kind of, I guess, maybe has convinced himself that because incompetent adults can't run the world, he needs to do it, and he needs to basically eliminate everybody in front of him because they're all just like stupid people getting in his way. Interesting. He's not so bland of a character, he's just very cutthroat.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, some sacrifices can't be avoided.
See? So like Shido here, like he justifies his actions. So he's not completely like batshit crazy, or maybe like a psychopath. He's just incredibly he's creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically, in which if he tells himself enough that things will be the way that he imagines them to be, they will come to be, which most likely would happen. I'm interested to see what his palace is, because I feel like the metaphor will reflect this in quite a manner.
That is my duty as the Chosen One.
Ooh, Chosen One, okay. This guy's been watching too much Star Wars.
Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
A house on the hills?
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
Money. Just give me money.
I am thinking about the future, though.
do I put this?
Looks like things have finally settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
The chief's right. Let's take it easy for today. Holy crap, what an episodic adventure.
So,
by the way, the police report on your death isn't gonna show up at the school. No need to worry. Seems Prosecutor Nijima worked out some kind of deal with the higher-ups or something. I mean, they haven't even said anything to me even. As long as you stay quiet, you'll be fine.
Well, how do I put this?
I guess if they report your death now, they'll basically be saying you were a Phantom Thief. They can't really go announcing what the Phantom Thieves are, so I'm sure they'll avoid that. Okay. At any rate, I'm glad you're back safe and sound. But even that's putting it too lightly. You've had it rough in there, didn't you? Only a little. I mean, they fucking kicked me and drugged me.
Sorry.
Akechi was after you all along. I knew it was risky, but we had no choice but to depend on him. Thanks to your tenacity, you were able to fool him. It's payback time. Let's make him regret underestimating the Phantom Thieves. Okay.
Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? That kinda came in handy.
How so?
Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone? Basically, that let me see GPS info for 2 phones, yours and his.
Holy shit, we can dox him then?
I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi.
Oh.
That's when I saw my chance, and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there was a chance they'd just pass each other without saying a single word. That's why we needed you to tell Sai Nijima to show the phone to Akechi.
This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it.
Wow, that's actually pretty amazing then. So she used the GPS tracker on both of our phones to indicate their precise location so that they wouldn't meet. Oh my gosh. I kind of want to see like a live schematic of this now, as like a cutscene to see just how wild this is.
Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse Nav. It's a mysterious app after all. But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable. Pretty good, huh?
You're scary.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same old attic, it's an important place for you, huh? Oh, I can't work out?
Nice.
You should take it easy today.
Yeah.
No?
Hey.
Bet you want to go out after being locked up. But starting tomorrow, you're going to be really busy. You should take it easy and rest today. Okay, guys.
So.
So no new dialogue?
How do I put this?
Sounds
Sorry.
Good. Yeah, doesn't look like it.
Nice.
My plant's still healthy.
Yeah.
Alright, well, can I sleep with you 3 standing here? Alright, sounds good. Time to hit the sack.